WQA is pleased to present its modular education program. This demonstration will show the Learning Experience Manager, which is both the course launching, course delivery, and tracking software that is at the heart of the new program. When the user logs in to the Learning Experience Manager, the first screen is called the dashboard. The dashboard gives a bird's eye view of the learner's progress. Listed are the various activities that the learner is currently working on. The badges that have been earned are in progress or remaining. Any portfolios that have been completed. Portfolios are the hands-on portion of the learning program, and any updates. When the learner is ready to begin, they go to My Learning Path, and on My Learning Path they will see the badges that they need to complete. For each badge will be a list of learning activities for this badge. This is very similar to the Boy Scout program, where a number of activities are required for a badge to be completed. In this case, there are two badges: Discuss Water Quality Basics and the Analysis and Treatment Basics badge. The Basics portion of the curriculum is intended to provide an overview of what water quality is, what problems can result from poor water quality, and how water can be treated to improve its quality. The Basics curriculum is intended as a starting point for anyone who's new to the industry or for non-technical personnel. Clicking on the badge name brings up the list of activities within this badge. There are three types of activities indicated here. The activity with the computer screen icon is entirely contained online. The activity with the checklist is a combination of a short article to read and questions to answer. The activity with the pencil icon involves some sort of hands-on work. Launching an activity is as simple as clicking on the name of the activity. This brings up a description of the activity. What will the user learn as part of this activity? In this particular one, residential water quality issues, the learner will see information on government regulations and water quality issues found in drinking water. They'll learn about tastes and odors, corrosive water, heated water, household plumbing, cleaning, and washing. This activity is estimated to require 20 minutes to complete. Clicking on the Launch button will bring up the activity. The first screen is an introduction to what this activity is about. In this activity, you will learn about the relationship between water quality and water quality issues found in drinking water, taste and odors, corrosive water, heated water, household plumbing, cleaning, and washing. The activity contains 7 questions. This activity is also linked to the knowledge base. As we go forward, you will see that each screen is linked to a specific article. This article provides the background reading that is recommended, but optional, for completing the various questions. Let's go on to the first question. Water is potable or safe to drink when disease-causing organisms and toxic chemicals are at an acceptable level. Which of the following is true about contaminants that affect the quality of drinking water? Prior to answering the question, the user is given the option of reading about contaminants that cause health problems. Clicking on this link will open a new window and bring up the knowledge base. The knowledge base will open directly to the article that is needed for this particular activity. There are several types of questions for the online activities. This particular one is a multiple choice. Select the best answer. Our options are: the U.S. EPA regulates the amount of chemical contaminants but not microorganisms that cause water to be unfit for drinking. We know that this is a false answer, but should the user or the student select it and then go to check answer, they're given feedback as to whether or not their choice was correct and why. They're given the option to try again. Water that contains any live organisms would cause disease if consumed. Let's assume this particular one is selected. Checking the answer, again, provides feedback. Once the correct answer is chosen, checking the correct answer brings up additional feedback with information from the knowledge base article. This particular screen illustrates another type of question, which is multiple correct answers. The user is given the situation to read and then asked to select all answers that apply, and again, a link to the knowledge base to another article that provides background is given. The articles in the knowledge base are short, typically only several paragraphs. Additional links may be provided. Likewise, checking an answer will provide feedback as to whether or not the answer is correct and why. Let's go back and read the question. A customer is concerned about possible contamination of the municipal water supply. You explained that government regulations ensure that public drinking water is safe. Which of the following could you say to describe governmental safeguards that protect the public water supply? We already know the first answer is false, so let's read the next one. The U.S. EPA sets a penalty for public water systems that do not meet the MCLG for each water contaminant that poses a health risk. This answer is also false, and clicking on it again brings up an explanation of why it is incorrect. The U.S. EPA regulates contaminants in public water supplies. That is correct. In the U.S., states are responsible for enforcing regulations that protect their public drinking water. This is also correct, and again, feedback is provided. And likewise, feedback is provided for the screen. An additional type of learning activity is something called a drag and drop. In this particular case, we're given a list of contaminants that affect the taste of drinking water or give off objectionable odors which make the water unappealing. Although we don't have standard measures for rating tastes and odors, do you know which words can be used to describe them? Again, a link to the knowledge base is provided. And to complete this particular activity, the user needs to drag the words to the correct column. Is it a taste issue? Is it an odor issue? Bitter is a taste, as is salty, sour, and sweet. The remaining options are odors: distinct, very strong, earthy, faint, and fishy. If the particular boxes are not within the right location, clicking on Check Answer will inform the user that they need to go back and rethink their answers. However, when they are in the correct locations, clicking Check Answer brings up additional feedback. In this particular screen, the user is asked to read about the various types of corrosion. What is interesting is should the user choose to skip one of the descriptions, they will not be allowed to go on to the next screen. Corrosion takes place when metal dissolves in water and can be caused by a number of factors. Metal pipe and plumbing fixtures may corrode when in contact with water. Select each title for a description of the corrosion shown. When you are done, select Next. So let's assume we read about the pinhole leak, may even click on the magnifying glass to get a better view of the particular pinhole leak. And we read about the external environment and acidic and low pH water, and decided that this was enough reading for one screen. Clicking the next button does not allow us to go on. In fact, we are told that we must select all the titles before we will be allowed to continue. Once we finish reading about the metal faucet and dissimilar metals, we are then given the opportunity to continue on to the next screen. When the activity is completed, we will reach the congratulatory screen, and the completion of this activity will be recorded in our learning path. Let's take a look at another type of activity, a multi-step one called National Drinking Water Regulations. Again, clicking on the bar with the name of the activity brings up a description and instructions. In this activity, we're going to research our country's water-related public health regulations and apply them to 2 sample test results. We're going to use the knowledge base to learn about the regulation of water contaminants in the U.S. and other countries, research the list of acceptable levels for contaminants in our country or region, and additional instructions follow. In this particular activity, we have a link to the knowledge base, which will give us information about the contaminants, or it will provide us links to areas where additional information can be found. We're then provided a test sample. And we're given the instructions. Below are test results for 7 contaminants from a water sample labeled as Sample 1. Sample was taken from a private well on property located near a large farm. We are to compare the test results to our local water regulation, and then for each contaminant, we're being asked to make a judgment. We should enter the acceptable level for our region and the source that we used for it. In other words, did this come from the US EPA? Did it come from the World Health Organization? Or is there no set level? We should also assess the sample level compared to the acceptable level. Do we feel that the level of contamination is acceptable based on regulations, not acceptable, borderline, or not a health issue? As we look through this particular example, we're told that Sample 1 test results for total coliforms are reported as absent. We're asked to report the acceptable level. The next question asks us to select our assessment of these results. Is it acceptable that the total coliforms are absent? Is it not acceptable, and do we want to think about treatment? And so on. Once the user has completed this particular activity and has submitted it, the learner's mentor will receive a notification that the activity has been completed and requires the mentor's attention. The mentor will then be able to review the learner's answers and set up an opportunity to discuss them. Another type of activity requires some hands-on work. Let's take, for example, activity B8, local water hardness. Clicking on the name brings up the instructions. The instructions include asking someone in the office to help you find answers to questions about water hardness in your area. The first question is, what is the published water hardness level for a municipal public water supply, if there is one in your service area? Locate the municipality's Consumer Confidence Report to answer this question. Second question is, what is the hardness level for a sample of a customer's water in your service area? This demonstrates the fact that this particular education program is customizable, such that the learner is using his or her company's customers' test results to study from. They're also being asked to start thinking about a situation that they are likely to encounter in the field and consider which of their company's treatment equipment and treatment offerings might provide a suitable solution. You have now seen the various types of learning activities that are possible through the Learning Experience Manager. You have also seen how the learning is tracked and what kind of information is provided to the user. The Learning Experience Manager also includes reports for a company administrator. The administrator can be someone designated by the employer, or it can be the employer, him or herself. The reports area allows the administrator to monitor the progress of all employees using the program. This concludes the demonstration of the Learning Experience Manager. Should you have any questions regarding the Modular Education Program, please contact WQA's Education Department at 630-505-0160 or simply education@wqa.org.